let me show you exactly what does it mean south of Italy and why it's quite convenient from you coming from a country. How can you benefit from both lower cost of living on the top of the lower taxation? Okay? Hello guys, welcome back to ESENtaxa. I'm Roberto here. In this specific video, I'm going to talk about the 7% flat tax for pensioners. So the 7% flat tax for pensioners means that it's a favorable tax regime that Italy will keep also in 2024 for retirees, for person who receives pension from abroad. So if you're new to the channel, ESENtaxa talks about how to optimize taxes if you want to relocate in a specific country. And here we always put the focus on Italy. We also cover jurisdictions such as Portugal, Belgium, Albania, and the Republic of San Marino. Now, in this specific video, I want to first tell you that this favorable tax regime remains exactly the same. So we still benefit in 2024 of this 7% flat tax of your income coming from abroad and from your pension coming from abroad. But I want to also show you exactly here on the map, on Google Maps, what does it mean relocate in Italy and benefit from the 7% flat tax, because one of the requirements is that you have to move in the south of it, okay? So let me show you exactly what does it mean south of Italy and why it's quite convenient from you, especially coming from a country with high cost of living. How can you benefit from both lower cost of living on the top of the lower taxation? Okay, so let me show you here on the screen. I'm going to reduce myself here in the corner, and I wanted to show you exactly what does it mean south of Italy. So a lot of you guys thinks that Italy is divided by two with a straight line. This is not true. South of Italy is composed by several regions, which most of them are in the south, but some of those regions are also in the centers. Now, first of all, let's check exactly what does it mean south of Italy. South of Italy means this island of Sardinia. A lot of people are not aware of, but this is a beautiful island, amazing beaches, and amazing place to pass the summer. Of course, Sicily, but this is obviously south. This region, which is Calabria, okay, it is in the south of Italy, and Puglia here. So this region basically a famous boot shape that we have here in Italy. And also the middle region between Puglia and Calabria, which is Basilicata, if you don't know the name of the middle region. The famous region of Campania, which you have the city of Naples, also the beautiful peninsula, Amalfi Coast and Sorrento Coast. And here is the thing. There are other two regions that belongs to the south part of Italy. You can exploit, move there and pay 7% flat tax. Where are those regions? One is this small region called Molise. Let me write. So if you go in Google Maps and you write Molise here, you will see this region also is part of south of Italy. And here we're talking about one of the cheapest regions that you have. Still, part of this region touches the coastline, so you can benefit from finding a place to stay by rent or purchase a property close to the sea, but at the same time has the biggest towns in the middle of the mountains. So it's a very nice place to stay in the countryside. But there is also another region which is a little bit more known, which is Abruzzo, which is actually belongs to south of Italy because for historical reasons was part of the kingdom of Two Sicily, which is the historical south of Italy, because it used to be one kingdom, but it's actually in the center of Italy, you see? So if you look at the map, we are basically parallel with the city of Rome. And if you purchase here a property, you want to stay on the rent, you benefit from the very proximity with the capital, proximity with the sea, with the coastline, and you are in the middle of the highest mountains that you have in the south of Italy. So you have all these things together close in one place, because here from Rome to the coastline here is only 2 hours by driving with your car, only 2 hours. So a lot of people are not aware that basically you can also, for example, move here at the top of this region, but you are quite close to this part of Italy, close to Florence, for example. You can benefit from all this area and pay this 7% flat tax. In addition to that, the Italian state also published a list of communes, a list of municipalities that belongs to the region of Lazio. So Lazio is basically the region where Rome is located. In this region, there are small municipalities, especially close to this town, the town of Rieti. So they cover this area here because they used to be affected by an earthquake a few years ago. So they are going to reconstruct all the buildings there, and they are basically pushing people to move there again. And also foreign, they push basically foreign people to repopulate this area. Of course, there is a list of very small municipalities in the region of Lazio that you can exploit and benefit still from this 7% flat tax. If you are willing to move to Lazio instead of Abruzzo, which is the close border region, you can let us know. In the description below this video, you will have our email contact, info@esentaxa.com, or you can basically book a preliminary consultancy call. Still in the description below the video, you will find our Calendly link. And basically, you can see with us which small municipality also in the region of Lazio belongs to this favorable regime for pensioners. Now, we have discussed about the geography where you can actually locate and exploit this tax benefit. There are also another limitation for this tax regime that remained unchanged, which is basically the fact that you have to you have to pick up a municipality of less than 20,000 inhabitants. Okay, so basically, I'm just giving an example. This city, which is start to be quite big, close to Rome, in the Abruzzo, for example, if I'm going to check, okay, for example, this town, it's 40,000 inhabitants. This is not fine. You cannot pick up this commune because otherwise you exceed the number of inhabitants, which is basically one of the two basic requirements. But what you can do in Italy, you have several times this aspect that you don't think about it. But let me tell you here that if you want to move in one of these big cities with higher number of inhabitants, you can basically pick up the close by small municipality. You see, for example, you can pick up this small village, which has for sure 1,800 inhabitants, but you're very close. Basically, it's like a district or a small quartier of the same town that you're looking. This is also another trick that a lot of people are not thinking about it. Maybe in the United States it's different. You have only big cities with several districts, and then far away you will find another village. But in Italy, no, a lot of villages are connected to each other. They just, if you cross the street, if you cross the road, you can basically still in another municipality with less inhabitants, and you can still benefit from being the area of the biggest city. Okay, same as if you want to move in the south of Italy and you want to, okay, let's move to Sardinia. I want to stay in this famous city, Olbia, which is very big. It's very touristic place, very nice, very nightlife for sure. It has, here it doesn't specify the number of inhabitants, but I know that for sure it's bigger than 20,000. What you can do, you can basically pick up, I'm just giving a random example, pick up something very close to it. For example, this small town here, which is, okay, this is even too small. I took it something extremely small, but you know what I mean. You can basically pick up another small town nearby that place. For example, this one here. This is for sure will have a very small number of inhabitants, few hundred, and this is fine for the flat tax, okay? And you're very close to the city you want to relocate to. So this is another trick. What else you have to keep in mind? Okay, if you apply for this flat tax for pensioner, of course, you have to receive a pension from abroad. That's for sure. That's one of the main requirements. You have to move in the south of Italy, in the place, in a commune with less than 20,000 inhabitants. That's fine. But if you're not a European citizen, you also have to apply for the visa. And the visa come along with the schema. So if you apply for the schema, you will also start the process specifically for the elective visa for pensioners, which doesn't allow you to work. So if you want to move to Italy, it's because you cannot work in Italy, okay? But you can work for company abroad. So let's imagine you are moving to Italy, you receive your pension, any kind of pension or similar pension, or something that can be assimilated as a pension for the Italian state. This is also another important thing. With this tax regime also excluded from taxation all your foreign income. So the 7% flat tax, it's applied on all your foreign income. So you can also own a company abroad that runs a business, a real business, of course, a substantial business abroad, and you can run it as an administrator. And then you can run your business from Italy with the foreign company, but you cannot run a business in the Italian territory. So that's the big. Instead, if you're a pensioner coming from one of the European countries, you can basically don't need to apply for the visa, for the elective visa, basically forbidden to work. And you can basically apply if you want to keep working, you want to run a bed and breakfast activity in one of the South Italian regions, you can do it. But the important thing is that you have to consider that your income there will be taxed at the ordinary RPF rates. Okay, and that's it for today. I hope I gave you some insight and just update you guys that this tax regime remains unchanged. So if you want to benefit from this tax regime, if you want to exploit the low cost of living of south of Italy and the low cost of purchase of property in Italy, because now the prices are quite low compared for sure your country of origin, let us know in the description below the video. We can help you also to find an agency to basically looking for the correct property, and for sure we can help you with taxes, understand if the property makes sense for you, if it's an investment property as well, and for sure from tax wise if this relocation for your retail time period makes sense for you or not. Thank you again for having watched this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, notification bell and like button to be always updated whenever we release this kind of video. See you, thanks, and have a nice day.